welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 40. So first of all, thank you for any of my new subscribers, and this channel is mostly about crochet with a few other random crafts thrown in here and there. I've only been crocheting for a little over 5 years now, I guess. So I've been crafting for a lot longer than that, so I still like to go back to other things every once in a while. So I normally just show like my works in progress and finished objects and acquisitions. Um, Sorry it's been like a month since my last video. We tried to shove in like a month's worth of activities and trips and stuff within the last 2 weeks before school started, and school started last Wednesday, and then it's been pretty hectic the last little bit. So anyway, so part of me feels like I've got a lot done, and then I like look what I have done and it doesn't seem like a lot, so I keep going back and forth. So for my first whip, I am making a Hermione Granger doll from Harry Potter for my daughter. She just turned 9 yesterday, but her party is this coming Saturday. So I have all the pieces done. I'm gonna need to sit down and watch the last video on how to assemble everything. So I have a head, which I think I need to add more stuffing in there. Her body, and 2 arms, and some hair. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to put that all together, and it's like my least favorite part, so a little nervous about it, but that's okay. My other works in progress are not crochet, and it's all stuff getting ready for her party, like things for like decorations, and that's why I haven't gotten a whole lot of actual crocheting done either, is because I've been doing a lot of work for that. I do want to do a video showing some things that I made for her party, and maybe like I can show the decorations and stuff when it's all set up and ready to go. But yeah, so my other one of my other, oh my goodness, I have a basket of finished objects. So I have 2 friends that are in charge of like this auction for a fundraiser for their preschool, and it's not the preschool we used, but that's okay. And they asked me if I would make something, so I decided to make a basket of like kitchen items. So here it is. I made 2 towel toppers, and I just wanted it to be kind of neutral, so everything's like black and white and gray. So 2 towel toppers. I made 3 scrubbies with the black scrubby yarn from Hobby Lobby, 2 washcloths, and then, so those are all things I've made before. I do have a tutorial for how I do the towel toppers, and I can post the link to the washcloth pattern and the scrubby pattern. So the hot pads, I've never made a hot pad before. So this one is a thermal stitch with half double crochet. And I can post the link to the video I used to do that one, and that seemed to take forever. And so I wanted to make another hot pad or pot holder, whatever you want to call it. But I didn't want it to take as long. And I've heard of the concept of where you take like a rectangle or square somehow and you fold it, and so it's double-sided, like double thick hot pad. And so I was watching all these tutorials, and almost every single one used single crochet, and I really wanted to get this done faster. So I just decided to make up my own based on their basic directions. And I don't have any one specific one. Like, you can just search YouTube for double thick hot pad or magic hot pad, and like a million show up. But so I wanted to use half double crochet to make it go a little faster, and then I also ended up holding 2 strands together, so it's pretty thick. So there it is. You can see the 2 strands. I think one was a premier yarn and one was like a sugar and cream, so you can see that they're not exactly the same color black. So I used half double crochet, and I did some in the third loop, like every other round, so it has that little camel stitch effect there. Yeah, and then I don't know, I just kind of made it up. I wish it was a little bit bigger, like compared to the thermal stitch one. It's pretty small, but it'll still work, you know, put on your table and put a pot on that. So, but if I did make it again, I might make it one strand because it's really thick. I think I used a K hook for that one. I think, I'm not sure. And then the other thing I made that I had never made before is a produce bag. And so this is just made out of Premier Cotton Fair cotton yarn, and it's just a chain for the little drawstring, and it's mostly just chain stitches, so it's pretty easy. And I weighed it because I feel like some people might be a little hesitant to use, you know, if they're weighing their produce with it, but it's only 1 ounce, so I don't know, I don't feel like that makes a big difference when you're weighing your produce. So yeah, so I did that. And then the only other thing I've gotten finished that's crochet is I started making pumpkins. So I want to hopefully maybe do a craft fair this fall, maybe. And if I do, I want to have some pumpkins for sale. And then if not, I can just try to sell them on Facebook or whatever. So I wanted to just like make it easy for myself to just have one pattern that I do, and keep it consistent between. So I wanted like 3 sizes, like a small, medium, and large, and then keep the pattern consistent no matter what size or style of yarn I'm using. So I went through a bunch of different patterns, and I don't remember where I got the like there was a pumpkin pattern that they had a small, medium, and large, and they told you what how many inches your rectangle should be, because it's the kind where you make the rectangle and then you fold it and seam up the side, cinch up the bottom, and then stuff it, and then cinch up the top to make the pumpkin. So I got their numbers for their small, medium, and large, and then for my first ones, I made 2 different ones using similar stitch patterns. One is half double crochets in the front loops and back loops, and then the other one is a row of single crochet, or a row of half double crochet in the back loop, and then a single crochet in the third loop, so the camel stitch. And I really like the camel stitch, so I did both of those in what they considered their medium size, which was like 7 inches by 12 inches, and then seamed those up. So here are these 2. That was going to be their medium size. I think, and then I wanted to decide from here. This one's a little bit smaller because it just the stitch pattern made it shrink in a little bit from the original chain. But I do like, this is the one with the camel stitch. This one's just front and back loop. I have an end there and some ends I need to cut off. Yeah, so I've decided that I'm going to do all my pumpkins with the one with the camel stitch. So single crochets and half double crochets. And then, well, how did I do that? That was weird. I didn't even touch my light and somehow it changed the color of it, I guess. Anyway, for the stems, I found, so obviously there's lots of different ways you can do stems. You can, like I've done in the past, I've done like the cinnamon stick, I've done just a sticky find on the ground, I've done like a piece of brown felt that you roll up in hot glue. I like the idea of just a crocheted stem so that it's soft, and because I have kids, I don't need my kids playing with them and impaling themselves in the eye with a stick or a cinnamon stick or whatever. So I found another pattern that I didn't use their pattern for the pumpkin, I just used their patterns for the stem. And they also had a small, medium, and a large. So this one is the large stem, and then this one is the large stem, but I added an extra row of decreases, so it went a little bit skinnier towards the bottom, and then like another extra row, so it's a little taller. Can't decide if I like it better or not. And they're not stuffed, so I feel like I don't know if I want to stuff them or just let them just be kind of how it is, but then they get squished and look kind of silly. So that's the stems. So I finished both of these last night, and then today, just while the kids were playing, I made. So this was the size that they said should be a medium, and I was thinking that this might be the biggest size I want to do after that. So this is going to be my large, and maybe someday I'll make a larger one, but for now I don't have time to spend 20 hours on a pumpkin. So then the one they had for their small is going to be my medium pumpkin, and this is their medium stem. Oh, and this yarn, didn't bring it down here. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's like the Feeling Chunky, I don't know, it's a bulky 5. I got it from Hobby Lobby on clearance for like $1.24. So I started with one skein for one and one skein for the other one, and then I used what was left of both skeins to make the medium one, and then I had like this much left of that color. And then this one, I just picked a size. I think I did 5 inches by 7 inches for a small pumpkin, and this is the same yarn but in like the cream or ivory color, and that's the small stem also. So those are my pumpkins, and I have bought more yarn to make more pumpkins, even though a lot of what I bought at Hobby Lobby clearance was for pumpkins too. So hopefully I get them done. But I mean, these two I'd made today, they didn't take all that long. The bigger ones took me longer, but I've also been working on other things. So that's all I have for finished objects. I know that's kind of sad. But I do have some acquisitions, not a ton. First, we went to the Goodwill a few weeks ago, and it was like they got like a whole shipment of like random craft stuff. Like, so I got some yarn. They had like tubs and tubs of fabric and fabric on the bolts, and I don't use fabric enough to buy any, but then just like sewing notions. So it seemed like somebody sent them a whole bunch of stuff, like a store, might have like a overstock store type of thing. I don't know what was going on. But the yarn I got is all Premier, and I didn't get all that they had. I left a few there because I didn't want to go overboard. But this one, yeah, so there's like a tag on it from somewhere else. I don't know where this tag is from, but they had it for $3.97 on clearance, and then at Goodwill they priced this one for 50 cents. So this one is the Deborah Norville Everyday Collection, and the color is Toasted Marshmallow. So that's that one. That was 50 cents. The rest of these are all the same yarn, and they were $2 each. So these are the Premier Rodeo, which I think has been discontinued. It's 85% cotton and 15% polyester, and it's 265 yards. And yeah, so $2 each. So this color is medium indigo. So it's like, and these are all like blue or red with white. So I don't know what I'm gonna make with them, but something patriotic themed. So I got 3 of the indigo, medium indigo. Yeah. And then 2 of light indigo. So same colors but more white than blue, looks like. Ooh. I'm dropping things. And then 2 of this one is medium red. And then 1, oh goodness, is, I'm gonna guess light red. I don't know what's covered up. But same idea, more white than red on that one. They did have some that were just plain red without the white in it. But since they didn't have any plain blue without the white in it, I decided not to get the plain reds. Because I didn't know, since I don't know what I'm making with it, I didn't know how I'd get that to all fit together. I forgot we bought this. Our version of this has a scratch on it, and so we bought that too. That was still in the bag. Alright. Other acquisitions at the dollar store. We went to the dollar store in Utah while we were there last week. And these are all for pumpkins. So this one is, so these are all the Premier, like, just whatever. So this one's Premier Chunky Cotton, 50 yards, and this is the color Terracotta. And actually, I was pulling out my yarn for pumpkins. Hold on. Man, I'm full of sound effects today. Okay. How's that? Not great. This one is one I bought for pumpkins also at Walmart. And it looks about the same. So this is the Premier one, this is the Walmart one. So obviously this one has more yards. But it's like they're both size 6. Actually, they both say 50 yards. So maybe this one's just wound tighter. So anyway, there's that. And then I'm full of sound effects today. I got a Just Chenille, even though I think I have some Premier Parfait in black. I thought it might be fun to make a black fuzzy pumpkin for like Halloween versus just fall. And then these ones I've never had before. The Just Yarn Plush, which I don't know if I'll like working with that or not, or if I'll have to double it up with something else. But it's 106 yards, a medium 4. This one, it's 100% polyester. This one's called Sunflower. And I do have other mustardy colors that I want to do with pumpkins with, so I didn't think that was weird. This one's called Brown. It's kind of a light tan though. And then 2 of this Burnt Orange. So that's my dollar store. And then we were in Utah, like I said, visiting a grandma who's a little bit further away. And we stopped at a Hobby Lobby on our way back home because I needed some colors to match some towels that I have that I want to do the toppers on. So I'm not going to show you the colors I got because I don't have the towels here, so that would be pointless. But they did have a tiny bit of clearance left. So, and these are things I didn't buy on clearance before. It's their authentic hand-dyed tonal, which is 100% superwash merino, size 1. I think they're the same. Yeah. So this one is chestnut, ember, and aged gold. So I thought those were pretty. I have no idea what I'll do with them. There's 420 yards each, so if they could go together with something with 840 yards. But I don't know how far one weight would get. Like I don't use one weights that often, so who knows. But they were $374 each, which is pretty good considering they're normally $15. Then I've gotten like a ton of towels at like Ross and stuff, so I don't remember which ones I've showed you and which ones I haven't. But since these are in my Hobby Lobby bag, these were all like 90% off because it's all their spring and summer stuff. So I got this egg and bacon one. Then I got this Think Happy Thoughts rainbow. And then this one's kind of random, but that's okay. Somebody might like it. Some little dogs. Black and white dogs. So yeah, so those were probably about like between like 60 cents and $1 each because they were 90% off, yeah. So that's what I got at Hobby Lobby and the dollar store and Goodwill. And I feel like I'm forgetting something to tell you guys, like something I finished or I don't know. But I don't think I am. I think that's everything. Yeah, so I have been doing a lot for my daughter's party, so hopefully that will be done soon. Well, obviously, like, I'm gonna have to make her cake and stuff this weekend, but I'm almost done making, like, all the actual decorations and the games and everything we're doing. It's almost done. So, there's a reason we only do parties every other year, because it's a pain in the butt. So, anyway, I think that is all for today. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.